We found him, Commander. Kane's temple and base of operations. This field operative's covert transmission came to us live just 5 minutes ago, so there's no doubt that Kane's inside. He surrounded himself with his own crack militia. Getting to him won't be easy. Ironic, isn't it? Kane's planted his temple just outside of Sarajevo. If that sounds familiar, it's because that's where another madman started World War I. And here we are, trying to stop this madman from doing it again. Commander, there is to be no quarter given. No leniency in dealing with Kane and his zealots. Wipe his temple off the face of the earth. Destroy the bastard. Or prepare to die trying.
Welcome back, Commander. Today's mission is the last mission in the GDI campaign.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Shepard is, I guess, just tired. It's pretty clear that he's like running himself ragged, going after Kane. It also strikes me as being very different, like out of place for Shepard. Just because he's going on about how we have to kill the bastard, no quarter given to his zealots, which doesn't seem like a very good guy thing to do. Like, what about those engineers? Or civilians? Or, like, anything, really. You might imagine that this is a failed run, and you'd be right. I had to reload several times, actually. This level has a couple things like that just kind of bug out. And again, going back to like past mission talks and chats and whatnot, how do I put this? I don't know if this is a patch thing or just like this is like Tiberian Dawn in its glory. It's strange, but we'll see the true nature of what I'm getting at later on. Going back to the story though, it's interesting that Kane has placed himself in Sarajevo. They make the allegory to World War One, but there's not much that would really suggest that's true, or that like it's an accurate comparison. So try number 2. Going back to the whole Bosnia-Herzegovina thing, I guess you could say that if Kane is successful in capturing the ion cannon and using it to I guess, kill a world leader, it's not like strictly mentioned, it's more of just like hinted that you destroy a famous location in the End of Knock campaign. So, I mean, maybe it's supposed to be in relation to that. I don't know. It also strikes me as very, like, out of place for the leader of GDI. Well, I don't know if he's the leader. He's Supreme Commander. It's got to hold weight, with something. But it seems very strange that, like, this guy of all people would just go up and say, "Oh yeah, you better kill or get Kane or die trying." Like, we clearly have the majority control of Europe. We can, like, we can smoke them out. Like, we can wait them out. I'm pretty sure we'll be safe.
Building.
And would you really want, like, not that I want to toot my own horn here with best commander in GDI, but if you're the guy who, you know, people are relying on to take on hard jobs or important tasks like evacuating Dr. Mobius, stuff like that, it seems
Not building captured.
out of place to tell him, like, good luck, or else well,
Building.
obviously Shepard won't kill you, but, you know.
Unable to comply.
And I'm sure it's more, like, not a literal thing, where it's more of, you know, or die trying, because, like, this is your goal, and, like, you shouldn't be backing down.
Building.
But,
Building.
like, seems to me that if you control the majority of the world, you can kind of
Unit ready.
Sir.
wait people out sometimes.
Building.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Now, I thought I remembered something
On hold.
saying that rocket soldiers, like the cargo plane, had to watch out as it could still be shot down.
Cancel.
Nope. Rocket soldiers cannot shoot cargo planes. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I can totally see why. Would you really want your only method of producing stuff as Nod being so easily destroyed?
Building.
Yes, sir.
Especially when, like, Nod has no ability to control, like, where the plane is coming from. Obviously, it's always from right to left, and I guess it's only the only thing that matters is the, like, Y location? The Y location?
Moving out.
I don't know.
Yes, unit moving out. Yes, sir.
I guess unless we're talking about the weird cargo planes that just seem to, like, spawn out from middle top of the map and whatever.
Yes, affirmative. Unit moving out.
Now, annoyingly, the turrets will cause a lot of issues, especially with your early game stuff, since you, as always, don't really start with a lot.
Moving out.
Thankfully, though, rocket soldiers I had already built for a different purpose, but they're cheap and they're effective, so I don't feel like I've wasted money on an investment.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes. Reporting. Affirmative. Moving out. Reporting. Reporting. Waiting competition. Reporting. Yes, moving out. Affirmative. Yes, unit moving out. Wait. No. Ready and waiting. Wait. Unit. Yes, sir. Yes. Report. Not a problem. Yes. We ready?
Building.
Yes. Right away, sir.
I didn't mention it earlier, but I think it's interesting that there's a communication center and power plant hidden. Like, if you rewatch, or I guess just if you were paying attention at the first try, it's weird how, like, I actually specifically missed those two buildings.
Yes, sir.
Just another one of the effects of having, like, very low line of sight.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unit report. No, we will not.
The more I play with the advanced guard towers, the more I feel like they are just, like, completely useless. I spoke previously about how I prefer them in the sense that they shoot faster, but I don't know. It just seems like rockets, like, miss, so they're always doing AOE damage rather than, like, hit damage. Because I've seen advanced guard towers take forever, even against light tanks, and that's just, it shouldn't really happen. Like, if you had an obelisk, light tank could just melt away. Personally, I don't know why I go for the Advanced Comm Center here. I think I just got, like, lulled into a false sense of security. Like, I had 2 orcas, which is, for most purposes, more than enough for this level, for defense.
Construction complete.
And, I mean, I should have probably gotten a weapons factory, because, realistically, that's always a good investment.
Building.
I mean, unless you want to beat the level with grenadiers and rocket soldiers and orcas. Probably not impossible, but let's just say there's things that complicate that.
Construction.
Namely, like a ton of SAM sites, but yeah.
Construction complete.
Yeah, I'm still never gonna build advanced power plants anymore. Ever since I learned about the whole, double, like, more expensive for the exact same thing, like, why bother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Seeing as this is the last map, there's not really anything else that we in terms of units that we haven't seen. Buildings as well, I guess. The only thing left is the mobile construction vehicle. We've already seen it, of course, but we can actually build them now. The only problem with it as a unit is that its incredibly high price point of $5,000 is absolutely not worth it.
Right away, sir.
Complete.
Right away, sir.
New constructor action.
Like, under most circumstances, you could simply just build an engineer, capture an enemy building somewhere, and just build there.
Building.
And let's be honest, everybody who's been reading the thread knows about the sandbag trick by now. So why waste $5,000 on a very slow, very vulnerable pseudo building when you could just as much as simply build a huge line of sandbags and voila, like, build wherever you want. Obviously there's some limitations like with rivers, but if that's not the case, then, the world's your oyster, really. Nod keeps patrolling those 4 units back and forth, but I'm not sure if that's actually, like, supposed to be the case. It just seems like a weird path for them to take.
Building.
Seriously though, who would pick an MCV over 3 mammoth tanks, and with cash to spare? Fools. I also don't get why that advanced guard tower isn't shooting, because I'm pretty sure those infantry are in range. Yeah, I don't know why I'm chasing those guys.
Building.
I gotta admit, it's a little annoying seeing those cargo planes fly over, like, a lot.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Moving out. Vehicle reporting.
Like, come on, what is that?
Right away, sir. Unit
Why do you have two cargo planes all of a sudden?
Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Ready to drive. Unit. Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
Also, unlike the AI, I can just keep my helicopters in the air forever.
Yes, sir. Waiting.
So I'm not particularly worried about their tracking.
Unit reporting. Yes, sir. Moving out. Yes, sir. Moving out. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, affirmative. Affirmative.
Did I mention that stealth tanks are super annoying when they sneak in like that?
Construction complete. Building.
Oh, and I don't know why I'm building concrete walls instead of, like, anything else that's cheaper.
Cannot deploy here. Building.
Vehicle report. Affirmative.
Construction complete. Building.
See, like, look at this advanced guard tower. It's a static target, and it just keeps missing.
Unit acknowledged. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Ion
Yes, sir.
cannon ready.
No. Unit. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Affirmative.
On
Like, if not for some luck, I would have probably lost that advanced guard tower.
Waiting order. Awaiting moving out. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Yes. Acknowledged. Awaiting. Acknowledged. Yes. Affirmative. Yes. Yes. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Yes, sir. Yes. Affirmative. Waiting order. Moving out.
building.
Unit report.
Come on, you dummy. Build sandbags.
Building. Building. Construction.
Like, seriously, the concrete wall is something the AI will actually target to try and, like, get past. Chain link fence, I don't think I've ever seen the AI, like, do anything to chain link fence. So, I don't know, I'm just, like, completely inexperienced when it comes to that particular building. But the sandbags, the enemy, like, almost actively avoids. Why, like, I should just be building some. I don't know why I'm not building any. Oh well. On the plus side, I've got 2 mammoth tanks now, so could be worse. So yeah, getting set up is, like, kind of tough.
Building. Building. Cancel. Building. Select target.
I probably should have done that, like, a long time ago.
Unit report. Acknowledged. Yes. Affirmative. Unit. Yes. Affirmative. Yes. Moving out. Unit affirmative. Yes.
Construction complete. Building. On hold. Building.
Awaiting yes, sir.
Construction complete. Building. On hold. Cancel.
I think at this point, I just, like,
Vehicle report.
built so many concrete walls just because I was really paranoid that a unit could slip through.
Yes, acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Like, we've seen it a number of times, and the nature of, one, the building sprites in this game, how you have to build adjacent and so on and so forth. I think it just like made me really paranoid and just going like, oh look, there's a hole between the ore factory and the concrete wall, so a tank could easily slip in there somehow. Maybe I'm just like really buying into the whole stealth tank propaganda.
Affirmative, sir. Moving out.
If that's the case though, I mean, good on them.
Vehicle reporting. Knowledge. Yes, sir. Got it.
Unit lost.
Got it.
So as one can imagine, I'm kinda stuck here.
On hold.
Yes, yes, sir. Moving out. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Waiting. Affirmative. Roger. Waiting away, sir. Reporting. Affirmative.
It won't help that the AI is set to rebuild certain buildings and not others.
Yes, sir.
For example, this turret that I'm about to attack with my mammoth tanks, yeah, the AI will rebuild that one constantly. Like to the point where I'll sometimes forget as I'm sending like something over that bridge because it's a later portion in the level, and I just end up having like a mammoth tank that's at like 2/3 HP. Where did 1/3 of it go? The turret. What else?
Vehicle reporting. Affirmative.
I want to point out too that if I have to speed up the game speed,
Yes, sir.
like the things are going
Building.
a little slowly,
Primary buildings.
a little too slowly.
Construction complete. Building.
Unit reporting.
Building.
We'll see an even bigger offender eventually, though, like a really big offender.
Yes, sir. Yes, knowledge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unit knowledge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Waiting order. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Vehicle reporting. Moving out.
Ion cannon ready.
Acknowledge. Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Select target. Ion cannon charging.
Yep, Iron Cannon can't kill a Hananon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I really don't know if it's because I'm missing some sweet spot or something. Another reason why I don't like the Ion Cannon. It's basically like only good against Obelisk of Light and turrets. Anything else just it can't kill. Okay, power plants it can kill. Tiberium silos, I guess. I don't know. I don't even think it can take out a comm center. I've never tried. It's not like the Nod comm center really matters all that much.
Building.
Yes, sir. Moving out. Acknowledge.
It'll do an okay amount of damage against something like a construction yard, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Again, like,
Construction
it's
complete.
just,
Building.
I don't know,
Waiting order. Knowledge.
pointless to me to
Unit moving out.
use the Ion Cannon against anything that isn't just static defense.
Acknowledge.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Moving out.
Also, that was something like wonky with range in this game. You notice every once in a while where a unit sorta, I don't want to say gets more range, but it's like a weird calculation, and all of a sudden, even though
Construction complete.
it normally wouldn't shoot at a unit, it just happens to for a certain reason. Yeah, there's another example of the Ion Cannon just not being great. At least, you know, a SAM site has a lore explanation, like a rule explanation for it, where SAM sites take less damage if they're covered. Makes sense.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir. Unit report. Acknowledged.
But it still sucks.
Yes, sir. Acknowledged. Wait, acknowledged. Yes, sir.
Oh, did the music change there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, whatever.
Building.
We're actually gonna hear a few audio cuts. I'd ask that you don't question it, but I mean, really, for this, since it's the last mission, I'll probably just tell you guys why in great detail.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
Unit report. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
I love when settling a concrete wall is just enough for a mammoth tank.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. No. Yes, moving out. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Affirmative. Moving out. Moving out. Affirmative. No. Yes, sir. Moving out. Moving out.
See, like that's not fun to me when you
Moving out.
destroy a building, you make your way past it, you destroy a second set of defenses, and then the first magically rebuilds, even though it's not within range, and
Ion cannon.
like that's tedious right there.
Vehicle moving out.
Building. Building.
Vehicle reporting.
Oh, and I'm sure somebody will probably ask why I would be going for so many mammoth tanks rather than maybe like more medium tanks, maybe like a mix of units. Truth be told, I really don't think that
Yes, sir. Moving.
Tiberian Dawn does well with the mixture of units, just because of all the different ranges at play. The fact that friendly fire is a very real thing. Limitations on aim and how AI performs. It all kind of just blends into this very this mess of things.
Construction complete. Unit ready.
Reporting. Moving out.
Building. Building. Cancel.
So as one can imagine, I'm going to do the same thing I always do, which is get an APC, get some engineers, and just take over an enemy base.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
It prevents them from rebuilding, it does everything that you need.
Building.
It's just better.
Yes, moving out. Yes, moving out. Waiting. Acknowledged.
I think I eventually build an MCV this time around too, so, that's fun.
Primary building selected.
Another benefit of the whole going slow is really the fact that your mammoth tanks all regenerate if they're below 50%.
Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't you want to take it slow?
Yes, sir. Vehicle
You get to capture stuff, risk less of your money, your precious money,
moving out.
Building.
advance, you're basically completing the objective at the same time. There's no reason not to, when you have a large army like this, of mammoth tanks, to go this route.
Captured. Building.
Yes, sir. Moving out.
Not building. Captured.
It also doesn't help that I never know where specifically the Nod forces are going to be. So probably better just, best to be safe rather than sorry.
Unit report.
Our base is under attack. Not building. Captured. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building.
Reporting. Roger.
Not building. building captured. Unable to comply. Building in progress. Not building captured. Unit ready. Not building captured.
Oh hey, what's that in the sky? So yeah, that's like the big, I don't want to say secret, but that's the really big, you know, FU to the GDI player. Surprise nuke. As far as I know, nothing can like prevent Nod from one, using it the first time, and two, getting a recharge so it uses it multiple times. Because yeah, that's correct. Nod has absolutely no issue with nuking you twice, or 3 times, or really however many times it takes to get rid of you. I kind of found that out the hard way. I think what makes nukes even more frustrating, at least like specifically in this game, is like exactly the fact that if anything happens, like if a nuke ever shows up, you're not screwed, but let's be honest. Your base is going to be really tightly packed, so it just adds to, you know, the underhandedness of it all. On the plus side though, I still have my Force of Mammoth tanks. It would have 3 more if I didn't, you know, if I didn't have to waste my time with so many, like, ancillary stuff. Like an MCV and having to like repair and rebuild some things.
Primary building selected.
I've almost got the entire Nod tech tree at hand too.
Select target. Nod building captured.
That being said though, I won't really put much use into Nod stuff. I kind of got really lucky with exploring the left side of the base of the map. I didn't think that the temple would be here, but oh hey, that seems like a really quick nuke.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Yes, moving out.
Building.
Like I'm not crazy here. It seemed like the delay on that one was like 2 minutes between 2 nukes.
Building.
On the plus side, once you destroy the Temple of Nod, that's it. Like, there's nothing...
Yes, sir.
It won't ever get rebuilt, which is nice. The Obelisks of Light will, though, so that kind of sucks.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit
Yes, sir.
lost.
Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
Knowledge.
Nod building captured. Unit lost. Building.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Unit ready.
yes. Unit reporting.
Construction complete.
Unit reporting. Yes, sir. Yes,
It might not seem like the Orcas are all that important,
moving out.
or I guess more all that useful, since, I mean, I haven't really used them to do too much, but they'll play a pretty important role later on.
Reporting. Roger. Yes, sir.
Now, pretty soon we're going to see a couple things. And it's probably important that I prep this.
Yes, sir. Moving out.
So, again, I had to play this, I don't know, I probably played, like, I had to load a save probably about, like, 10 times. Or at least, like, several save files at several different times. Actually made it really hard to edit this episode. So, first things first, I didn't want to mess around, and I really like mammoth tanks. I'm just a sucker for them, you know. Don't judge me. But I figured I'll build some more factories or weapons factories. I'll build a barracks nearby. It'll be useful. We can see how the AI immediately replaces buildings, even though it has, again, no adjacency.
Okay, unit reporting. Yes, sir.
So, that being said, I figure my best bet is I will try to play the economy game and basically just, you know, mess with the AI and maybe like steal funds while it's busy
Moving out.
rebuilding stuff.
Right away, sir.
I'm not sure how the AI thinks when it comes to building / replacing stuff. I don't know if it's that it replaces things in a certain priority, like is it because it's easier to build, or slower to build, or whatever the case may be. However, whatever the AI's building practices are,
Okay.
it will replace stuff,
Yeah.
as we've seen on numerous occasions. So you can't really knock power out of the base. And I don't know if it's a cheat, I don't know if it's just I got really unlucky, or whatever it is. But it always felt to me, no matter how many times I destroy a refinery, no matter how many times I destroy power plants,
Unit reporting.
Nod always had some way to regain power and to rebuild stuff.
Affirmative. Affirmative.
Now I understand that
Waiting order.
in a game, especially an earlier game like this, you kind of have to nudge the AI into a more favorable position, just because of the limitations of coding and programming hardware and all that stuff at the time.
Unit reporting.
But it still gets to be a real pain, because one would assume that if it's spending $2, $4, $6, $8,000 on top of all the silos and repairing buildings and watching the SAM site take forever to die, even though there's like 20 civilians all shooting at them.
Unit ready.
They're getting there, guys. Basically, it just kind of sucks that
Yeah, okay.
regardless of what you seem to be able to do as the player, the AI doesn't necessarily feel the impacts of that. Now, that being said, there are levels where it's way more apparent that the player has agency in that way.
Unit reporting.
But that's not one of those levels, or this is not one of those levels.
Yes. Moving out. Moving out.
Another thing is that it's been fairly quiet on the map. Like, I'm doing stuff, sure, like I'm destroying power plants, I'm going here, going there, killing stuff. But the AI has been very quiet in comparison.
Yes, sir.
Now, I can't say there's any specific reason, other than we can see there's a lot of units on the right over here. What are those units doing?
Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Well, it seems that, I guess, in a pathfinding error or some bug, units tried to go back into the base while other units tried to go to my base. And the two groups met and did have absolutely no way of letting a unit get priority in forward, rearward motion, whatever. Also, you notice the audio cut for the music? I had to reload like 6 times. It was not fun. And we're like, it's just, I got really unlucky like on multiple occasions.
Yes, sir.
So,
Moving out. Waiting.
anyways.
Yes, moving out.
So right now, power's out for
Moving out.
everything on the map for Nod, which is good
Yes, sir.
because you really don't want like an obelisk of light just like murdering you out of nowhere, which is exactly what it would do if this obelisk of light had power. Because for whatever reason, I'm still not 100% certain as to what's the deal with it. And the fact that I really hate pathfinding sometimes, especially when it costs me a mammoth tank. However,
Moving out. Reporting. Got it.
AI is just like got an obelisk of light and construction yard in the middle of nowhere. And I figure, okay, I know the AI has got power back to the obelisk of light because I destroyed one, right? It didn't shoot at my helicopters, blah blah blah. Well, apparently that's not going to matter. Or at least I don't think it'll matter, because I distinctly remember at some point an obelisk of light just pops out of nowhere and just murders my power plant. But maybe I'm just confusing runs now because I've seen this like 20 times. But here's my point. There's very little for the enemy to harvest in terms of like income. So where's it getting it all? I'm struggling just to make ends meet to get an advanced comm center. And some engineers, mind you. But regardless, it takes me forever to get an ion cannon back.
Yes, sir.
So I don't have any faith in the MRLSs. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a couple artillery, park them on the high ground, and just effectively shoot at like whatever the AI decides it actually wants to produce. This way I can use my mammoth tanks in a way more offensive role than whatever the hell I'm having them do now. Oh yeah, in one of my runs, the AI just decided to spontaneously rebuild the Obelisk of Light at its, I guess, secondary construction yard, because for reasons unknown, the AI has two. Maybe they're just trying to be nice and give the human player a construction yard. I don't know.
Yes.
But basically, the AI can produce an Obelisk of Light in the middle of nowhere, which will catch you off guard
Acknowledge.
and force you to lose a
Yes, sir.
construction yard and advanced power plant. No, it's not really fun.
Yes, sir. Yes. Affirmative.
I'm kind of coming down hard on this level.
Yes.
I want to say it's deserved though.
Ready. Roger. Yes.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Moving out. Moving out.
Like, I don't want to say just because I don't remember, and we'll probably see it in the final time, but I don't think it calculates reloaded saves. But I spent a lot of time on this level. And I'm sure there's a video out there of some guy who speed runs it for fun. And more power to that guy, really. Like, he's my hero. Or spirit animal, or however that goes. Or maybe both.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Not quite sure why that artillery wasn't shooting at anybody nearby, but at some point I just stopped asking questions. I will admit, it's cheap doing this sort of thing. Specifically the whole wait for the AI to like wait to overpower the AI and then do something about its waypoint problems. At the same time, though, again, I reloaded like 6-7 times. I didn't really have any compassion for the computer at this point.
Building.
I can only hope that when the robot overlords of 2078 decide to, you know, uproot humanity and install their own governments in power, that they'll look a little more compassionately on me than I did them.
Increase fear and suspicion. Just do it up.
Every encounter is going to be much more difficult. Repeat. Every encounter is going to be much more difficult. Repeat. Gentlemen, this is about combat. Repeat. Gentlemen, this is about...
Honestly, I really should have just recaptured those silos and just be done with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, on the plus side, you start building stuff elsewhere. Small victories, guys. Small victories.
Just do it up. Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Construction.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unit moving out. Affirmative. Affirmative.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Unit reporting.
So here I'm making some headway, I guess. It's the longest possible way to do this, I'm sure, but no, win's a win, baby, if I can actually win this.
Ion cannon.
I was actually really sad that I couldn't get the Chinook helicopter. Would have made this like a lot easier if I could have just dropped a bunch of engineers in their base. I mean, you get one for the Nod campaign. Where's the justice?
Yes, sir. Moving out. Unit moving out. Yes, sir. Moving out. Yes, sir.
I should probably also mention that once I finally get around to the dissection posts, basically to talk about all the missions / levels that we didn't see, I think I got off easy and picked probably the easiest map of the 3 choices.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So eventually, I'm gonna end up actually attacking this. And it's coming up, I guess, soon-ish.
Yes, sir. Moving out. Unit affirmative.
The AI just has, like, too much stuff. Hey, it's not cheating if the game lets me do it. So I can't really see like how much damage the ion cannon did, but we can see that the construction yard is on its damage sprite. So over half. If the AI doesn't repair that in that amount of time, then something's like horribly wrong.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and I had a bunch of harvesters that just stopped working. Which is explainable by the fact that there's not really any Tiberium left. So if it couldn't find anything at its, I don't want to say last known Tiberium field it harvested from, then it just goes kaput.
Yes, sir. Unit report.
Yeah, I think
Acknowledge. Yep. Moving.
I think that save was aptly named.
Yes, reporting. Affirmative. Yep. Moving up. Yep. Moving up.
So here we get to see the major like logjam going on.
Yep. Acknowledge.
I don't think I'm ever gonna find out like
Yes, sir.
what specifically caused it, but
Yep. Acknowledge. Yes. Yes.
here we are.
Affirmative. Yep. Yes, sir.
And since I've basically mined out the map, there's not really anything else for the AI to do. Like, it's basically just gonna send its harvesters up to like random Tiberium fields in the hope of getting money. Unsuccessfully, of course.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, I think I've successfully drained the AI of its reserves. It took 1 billion silos, like 18 refineries, and God knows how many power plants. But here we are. I managed it.
Building.
Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes, yes, sir. You acknowledge. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Wait. Yes, sir. Unit reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Moving. Unit reporting.
Construction complete.
Yes, sir.
Building.
Affirmative.
Ion cannon
Yes,
loaded.
moving out.
Select target. Ion cannon target.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Acknowledge.
Now, under normal conditions, the AI would have actually repaired a lot of that construction yard, if not brought it back up to full HP, which it most likely would have been at. But because I managed to drain out the AI completely, well, here we are.
Vehicle report. Moving out. No. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
It also means that I unlocked the power situation again. In a way, it would have been a lot smarter to just go after the advanced power plant rather than anything else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think I was just like fixated on the idea of actually finishing this.
Yes, sir.
So I was just too happy to go after the construction yard.
Reporting. Affirmative. Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Unit lost.
yes, sir. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yes, sir.
Unit lost.
Unit acknowledged. Moving out. Yes, sir.
Construction complete.
Yes, yes, sir. Waiting order. Affirmative. Vehicle. Yes, sir. Unit report.
Lost.
Yes, moving out.
Yeah, it's still pretty annoying when I lose a unit like that.
Moving out. Yes, unit moving out. Yes, unit report.
Small building captured.
I am a mechanical man.
Building.
Oh, and if you thought you were going to get off scot-free just because the enemy lost most of its buildings, rather than all of it, boy, you're out of luck. And since he's still got plenty of SAM sites, it's not like I can really use my orcas. Like, technically against the silos, I guess. But I'm not gonna risk it. I've only got $13 to my name. I probably should have gone for the SAM site first, just to clear that other area and then use the orcas to destroy the silos, but whatever. You know, when you watch, like when you play the same level for, you know, over an hour, hour and a half, you tend to just like brute force it. Like the whole you better kill Kane or die trying thing gets like a lot more serious and realistic of a choice with every like 100 minutes that go by. Also, why is it that the airstrike unlocks after most SAM sites, but not the two at the Temple of Nod? I don't know. I stopped asking questions a while ago.
Mercy is for the weak.
Just in preparation. In the cave of my secret weapon.
Mercy.
Ready and waiting. Just in preparation.
Mercy is for the weak.
We've taken serious. The temple's been blown all to hell. We need to get out of here before...
Sir, topside has suffered significant damage. Structural integrity has been compromised. I estimate GDI will have access to this command center in approximately 20 minutes.
Y'all son of a bitch.
Just do it up. Just do it up.
Every encounter's gonna be that much more difficult. Y'all son of a bitch. And you, Larry, I saw you what you did when you dropped yourself the other day. You're gonna go on report.
Just do it up.
It's more like a isn't that what it is at the end? A grenade future. A little to the left, honey.
Just do it up. I'm so sure.
2 GDI bases rest on ground I have chosen to be the temple of my cradle of Nod.
It's up to you to mobilize a strike force. Acquire Mobius and rendezvous with the...
I hope I can trust you with this. GDI... Let's cut that, shall we?
It's up to you to mobilize a strike force. Acquire Mobius and rendezvous with the...
Just...
United Nations officials have confirmed that Global Defense Initiative assault troops successfully attacked and destroyed the alleged Sarajevo headquarters of the Brotherhood of Nod. This ends a 3-day siege which saw GDI and Nod forces engaged in mortal combat. Eyewitnesses and survivors report that, although evenly matched, the GDI forces employed superior tactics and strategy, outmaneuvering Nod in what was termed an epic battle. Quoting from a written statement issued earlier today, UN Secretary of Defense Dr. Charles Olivetti praised the men and women of the UN-funded GDI, calling them, quote, tireless defenders of freedom and heroes to history, unquote. Although refusing to disclose specific totals, Dr. Olivetti confirmed reports that heavy casualties were sustained by both sides. Kane, the single-named charismatic Nod leader and self-proclaimed prophet, is among those missing and assumed dead. Discovery and destruction of the Nod Command Center ends more than 3 years of continued escalating violence sparked by that organization's international terrorist activities. World reaction has been mixed. Slavic Prime Minister Yuri Polenko denied accusations of